Let's go gambling! Let's go gambling! Gambling, gambling! Is that all you ever say? That's all I hear anymore! I can't take it anymore! I hate gambling!
Kenji Hakari, the restless gambler of the JJK verse. Now, although he does have statements of him being equal to Yuta, we've seen in a couple fights that may or may not be the case. But whether or not, today I wanted to rate Kenji Hakari's performance in JJK and rank it from each and every arc, from useless to carrying like Prime Blonde, if you feel what I'm saying. What's good, YouTube? My name's Tacted Before here, and if you guys want more of this ranking how useless a character is series, make sure to gamma knife that like button, subscribe if you're new, comment for the algorithm, and let's dive in. Before we get into the meat of today's video, I just launched a new YouTube membership program from as little as $2 to join up to $10 if you have that moolah. You can get exclusive things such as you could get a custom meat right next to your name, new emotes that nobody else can use, following up with earlier access to videos than usual, and last but not least, member exclusive videos and polls for new videos coming out. You know, I have a lot of videos and a lot of characters in store for y'all, but y'all get to pick what comes out first, or y'all even get to pick what characters you want to see in the Ranking How Useless series. So yeah, join up today for as little as $2 up to $10, and yeah, hope you enjoy. Now, unlike every other video that I've done for the Ranking How Useless a Character series, Hakari has only 2 arcs to pull from, so judging his performance with those arcs will make this video very short. So I'm gonna do something a little bit more different. I'm gonna be ranking each of Hakari's fights. And see how much those fights and what he's done inside those fights impacted the rest of the arc, you know, or following up to each other part of the arc. Alright then, now that we got the rules in place, let's start off with Hakari's first fight, which is his fight against Yuji Itadori. Now, this was a small scale scuffle, it wasn't too much. However, the end of the day, this fight was to get Hakari on their side. Hakari was the prize and the goal of this entire fight. Now, Hakari did get one over at the end, but he did rough up Yuji, but it wasn't to an extent where he got nerfed for the rest of the arc. So here, I gotta put him in that LeBron James territory, because without Hakari here, you know, let's just say things would have went terrible. Like, imagine if Yuji or Megumi went to fight Kashimo. They are dead, bro. Next up, we got Hakari versus... Wait, what's his name? Oh, okay. Charles. I'm sorry, he was so forgettable. Genuinely, I had to look that shit up. Now, in the grand scheme of things, Hakari did win this fight. However, in my opinion, it did not feel satisfactory at all, alright? We knew that Hakari was toying with Charles for a long time. And let's be real, if your name's Charles, bro, we know that you're not like that, but we know you're not like that. Hakari getting Charles's points and using them later on was good, but I mean, I feel like there's just other sorcerers that Hakari could have fought and would have lasted a better impact. Because, okay, besides Charles giving Yuta Future Sight, what else did him fighting Hakari and giving points do? Like, you could have replaced this role with anybody else, because even then, Future Sight, Yuta only used that once. He didn't use it again, so... And even then, it wasn't really that detrimental in the fight against SUKUNA, so... Y'all gonna drag me, but I'm gonna put him in the bare minimum tier. Next up, we have 2 heavy hitters. My top 3 fight in JJK, Hakari vs Kashimo. Man, I wish Gege could bring me back to those days, man. Truly. For this fight, without a doubt, we are putting Hakari in the LeBron James territory tier, man. Absolutely. We gotta think, base Kashimo is a real threat to people who aren't Yuta and Hakari or Maki, right? Everybody else is liable to get headshot just in like 30 seconds from fighting Kashimo. And it's not even like his physicals are a slouch either. He was hanging with Jackpot Hakari. That is not a bad feat at all. And after Kashimo did lend his points to Hakari, right? And we see later on, Kashimo does fight SUKUNA. Now, even though he did literally nothing to SUKUNA besides make him transform, which let's be real, anybody could have made him transform, right? Maki, Hakari, Yuta, like, come on. Anybody could have made him transform in that weakened state. However, regardless of how you may think of it or not, Kashimo did, in a sense, hang with SUKUNA for like a second. So that's more useful than a lot of people should think. Actually, the more I think about it, if Yuta and Hakari switched places and Yuta fought Kashimo, we all know Kashimo is getting slammed, right? But then after that, when Yuta has his points and everything and he goes to fight like SUKUNA, after like Yuji and Higuruma, everything's basically going the same. You can argue that SUKUNA won't transform, but I'm gonna be honest, when SUKUNA's getting pressured, that's when he starts going all out. We see that with Maki, we see that with like him versus like Miguel, when everybody was ganging up on him and shit. He was hitting black flashes left and right. Like, no, him getting pressured would definitely cause him to go all out and transform. So I don't think Kashimo was the reason for it. So scratch what I said about putting Hakari in that LeBron James tier. I will put him in the pretty good tier. And next but not least, we have the one, the only, the worst fight in JJK history behind Nobara versus Momo, Hakari versus Uraume. Can you even call this a fight? Let's be real. A lot of people will not call this a fight. This shit was just a stalling of a lifetime. Now, regardless of my feelings for the fight, there's one thing that I can say for certain. If Uraume was left roaming around fighting Yuta, Maki, and all of them while fighting SUKUNA, we would have got swept 30 chapters earlier. Like, genuinely, it would have been terrible. Now, Hakari was absolutely essential, mainly because Yorozu and Hakari's techniques basically balance each other out. There was a complete counter to one another. A person can regenerate from anything and a person can freeze you into anything. So every time they get frozen, regenerate, punch kick, punch kick. I know Hakari is a punch kick merchant, but it is what it is, right? So it makes sense why they stalled each other out. I don't like it regardless, because how do you go from Kashimo versus Hakari to Uraume versus Hakari? It could have been a much better fight. But regardless of how I feel, like I said again, Uraume's too broken to be left on the battlefield. We would have been died. Like, imagine Maki, Yuji, Miguel, Choso, all of them putting the pressure on SUKUNA, right? But before they even get to do much to SUKUNA, you see a sneak merchant come out the bushes and hit everybody but SUKUNA in the battlefield with a maximum technique freeze comp. After that, SUKUNA, all he has to do is pop domain expansion, Fuga, everybody's dead. Like, it is so easily crazy how badly SUKUNA can just kill everyone. Telling you, SUKUNA and Uraume, they would have put up prime numbers. And it's a good thing that Hakari stalled her out, or him. Actually, I don't really know their pronouns, because apparently there was a him in the past life and now they were her, so them. Yeah, Hakari stalled their bitch ass. So for this final arc in Hakari's last fight, we'll be putting Hakari in the LeBron James tier category. And yeah, that seems to be it for today's ranking how useless Hakari is video. Honestly, Hakari did better than I thought he would. Alright, not a single useless tier. Like, he was useful throughout the entire story. Who would have guessed? But if you guys want to see more ranking how useless a character is series, now that JJK has ended, I do got some videos for y'all from other series as well. So make sure to lock in for that. Get my knife that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Comment for the algorithm. Follow my Twitter. I'll be chatting there too. I'm tagged out there before. And I'll see you guys next time. Should I have a